Hello there, this is Professor Warsi, and today I have another good lesson on English preposition. So today we will learn the meaning, use, and logic of English prepositions, how we use them and why we use these prepositions with certain words. I will show you the relationship between nouns and some other words, okay, between nouns and the prepositions that follow them. And I will also explain where, when, how, and why we use certain prepositions in English. The book is on the table, right? I teach at 8 o'clock, or she is from Canada. Okay? So let's begin with the lesson's objectives, the goals. Understand the purpose of prepositions in English. We will also learn to distinguish between certain prepositions like in, on, at, to, from, by, with, under, over, between, among, about, for, of, and some other prepositions. We will also learn to use the correct preposition based on the situation in which they appear, their meaning, and category. What are those categories? We will learn, such as place, time, movement, and relationship. We will also avoid common ESL errors. We will learn how not to say incorrect prepositions like on the course instead of saying in this course. We will learn prepositions, right? So let's begin. First and foremost, what are prepositions? Now, you know pre, as in prefixes, means before, right? Pre, and position. So prepositions. A preposition shows the relationship between a noun and another word in a sentence. For example, it often tells us where, when, or how something happens. Okay? The book is on the table. So that's a place. She arrived at 8 o'clock. When did she arrive? She arrived at 8 o'clock. From, it expresses an origin, shows origin. He came from France, right? So where, when, and how. On the desk, in the box. Where is the book? Is under the chair. I think I dropped it. So that's a preposition, under. And remember, preposition, pre means before. So under comes before the chair. All right? So positions of place, we just learned on the table, right? Under the table. Where something is, that's preposition of place, is in the room. In means inside. That's an enclosed space, right? Or within boundaries. Okay, so use in for something that is inside or within limits of space or group. In a room, something is in a box, it's an enclosed space, right? In a building, in a country, in Japan, in China, in the US or in the United States of America, in Mexico, in a city. So I, for example, I live in New York. And to be specific, I live in Queens. I can't say I live on Queens or I live on New York. In the sky, okay? In a course, in a class, in a team, in a movie, in a photo. These are all prepositions of place. She is in college. He is in the car. Where is Professor Warsi? He's in the car. I live in New York, not on New York. Okay? On, when do we use on? We just learned how to use in. When do we use the on preposition? When there's a contact with a surface or attached to something. Remember, the book is on the table, so the book is touching the table. It is sitting on the table. The book is on the desk. There's a picture on the wall, so you look up and you see, oh, that's a beautiful painting, or that's a nice picture. It's on the wall. Why? Because the picture is making a contact with the wall. Oh, watch, look, he's on TV, or I'm on the phone, or I found this on the internet, not in the internet. So that is how we use on prepositions. At is another preposition for you. At expresses a point or a location, but not the entire area, right? Not the entire area. It shows a point, like in Queens, but where in Queens, right? I live in Flushing. Queens is a big borough. If you are familiar with New York, you know that there are 5 boroughs. She studies at the university, not on the college, but at the college. So at is used for specific points, addresses, or locations where something happened. I'll meet you at the bus stop, not I will meet you on the bus stop. Because we just learned, right? On makes a contact. So we don't make a contact with the bus stop. We just go there and we wait for the bus. He's at the hospital as a visitor, or she's at the hospital. Okay. Very good. Let's do this exercise, right? Because I think it's important for you to learn new information, new rules. In this lesson, you're learning prepositions, and then apply your knowledge. So let's do this exercise. We've learned 2 prepositions, at and on. Let's complete this exercise. So pause the video now, complete the exercise, and then we will go over the answers. And if you have any questions, if you're confused why you didn't get certain answers correct, then write in the comments, okay? I would like to get feedback from you as you take the lesson. I need to know from you if the lessons are easy to learn or if they are too hard or too difficult. Please let me know so that I can make lessons that are more accessible. Okay, complete the exercise and I'll wait for you to finish. Number 1 is at, 2 is at, 3 is on, 4 is at, 5 is at, 6 is on, 7 is at, 8 is at, 9 is on, 10 is at. Now to practice pronunciation or even speaking, now you know the answers. I need you to read each sentence out loud. You can even record yourself if you want to know how you sound, how people hear you. My class starts at 9 a.m. We usually meet at the library to study, not on the library. Okay? All right. If you are not sure, if you're confused about something, please ask. Moving on. There are prepositions like under, below, above, and over. Okay, under describes something that is beneath, under the table, for example. Below is not always direct, but it's the lower level. Over means it's higher than something, like over my head. People sometimes say, oh, that went over my head, meaning it was too difficult. I did not understand. And above is higher than something, not touching. The cat is under the bed. The temperature is below 0. The lamp is above the table. The plane is over the city. Next up, it's an exercise for you, right? Now, complete the exercise. Apply what you just learned. Pause the video. Maybe even write down your answers so that when I show you the answers, you can compare. Okay? So pause the video and complete the exercise. So here's the answer key. These are all of the answers. Check your answers and compare the two. You should have gotten most of the answers correct because we just learned these prepositions. Okay, let's learn two more prepositions, between and among, and we will learn the difference between the two. So we say between when we're comparing two items, or two distinct things. And among means there are more than two things, right? If there are three or more in a group, there is a group of students, 10 students in each group, let's say, then we use among. Between means just two. So I could say to you, this is between you and me. Don't tell anybody, right? The ball is between the shoes. So there are two shoes, and the ball is in between. He's among friends. You are among friends. Don't worry, okay? We will take care of you. You are among friends. Okay, so in this exercise, I need you to fill in the blanks with what you just learned, between or among. Before you do this exercise, let's go over this one more time. Between is used to compare two things, between A and B. And among is used for more than two, people, groups, places, things. The park is located blank, the school and the library. Okay, complete the exercise and then we will go over the answers. So these are the answers. Between, among, between, among, between, among, between, and among. Okay, this should have been easy for you, right? Because look at the first question. The park is located. How many places do you see? Two, correct? School and library. So it would be incorrect to say the park is located among the school and the library because there are only two places. We use among for more than two things. Remember? The park is located between the school and the library. All right? Let's learn some more. By, beside, next to, and near. So when we use by, beside, and next to, we mean close and side by side, like they're next to each other. The library and the school, they're next to each other. We use near, which means not far, but not touching, right? I am near the screen. I'm recording this lesson, right? And I'm not touching the screen, right? I'm not touching it, I'm near, or the computer is near me. So the park is near my house. The lamp is next to the sofa. Next means close. The post office is right by the pharmacy. And she sat beside me, next to me. All right? Do this exercise. Fill in the blanks with by, beside, next to, or near. All right, here are the answers for your reference and comparison. Look at the answers that you gave. For each question, there is a small cafe near my apartment, not at my apartment, not in my apartment. The cafe is near, so it's close. Let's say it's a 2-minute walk. So you can say, oh, that's not too far. That's not far. That's near my house. Okay? Now, there are prepositions of time that explain when something happens. Like at is a point in time, on is a specific day or date, and in is a longer period of time. So at 6 o'clock, at noon, right? At night, that's at. And on, the preposition on is used for a specific day. On Monday. So I'll see you on Monday. On Christmas Day, right? On Thanksgiving. In, this preposition is used to describe months, years, seasons, long periods, like in the summer, in the winter, right? In July. So when did you move to New York? In 2025, I moved this year. Or next year, you can say, I moved to New York in 2025. In the morning, I wake up and then I have a banana in the morning. All right? Okay. So these are prepositions of movement. Pause this. I suggest that you pause the video now and look at the prepositions to, from, into, out of, through, across, along, and around. And the meaning is given right next to each preposition. And there are some examples of how we use these prepositions. To, I travel to Japan. Or I go to school 4 days a week or 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. To, direction toward. Okay, from, she comes from Canada, or she just came from Canada. From means where, what's the origin. Okay, so take some time. If you need to take notes, please do, and we will continue the lesson. So preposition, there are some prepositions for other relationships. What are they? Cause and reason. These prepositions are used for, because of, due to. She was happy for the success. People sometimes say, I'm happy for you that you got a new job. Possession is of, the color of the car, not the color at the car or the color between the car. The color of the car. When we talk about instruments or means, we use with. I cut with a knife. I cut the onion with a knife. Or I actually go by train. Right? I don't walk. I go by train. I don't drive to work. I go by train. I take train and I go to work. Purpose is another preposition for a brush. What is this brush for? This is a brush for painting. And when you compare two things that are similar, they're also called similes in literature, like as he runs like a cheetah, right? He runs like a cheetah. Or this test is as easy as pie. So you're comparing an apple pie with a test, this very easy test. All right? So some common mistakes we will look at. Some common mistakes that students make, people make, even native speakers of English make, is in the course, students will say on the course, right? In the table, on for surface. On the college, no, at the college. In the bus, should be on the bus. So on for public transport, on the bus. On the morning is incorrect, should be in the morning, in because it's a time period. It's a specific time period when something is done, right? What do you do for breakfast? Well, I eat an apple in the morning, right? Very good. Now let's practice, because we have learned a lot of information today. We have learned a lot of prepositions, but we haven't quite practiced. So before we end this lesson, we will do some exercises. Let's begin with exercise A. Fill in the blanks. Choose the correct preposition in, on, at, to, from, and across. Pause the video, complete the exercise, and we will move on. Okay, so number 1 is on. The cat is on the sofa. She studies at Harvard University. My phone is on the table. I arrived at 8 o'clock. He's in the car waiting for you. We walked across the bridge. The picture is hanging on the wall. He is from Canada. Don't sit on the floor. It's cold. Right? She goes to school every morning. Right? These you probably already know, these prepositions, but it's good to practice, right? To make sure that you have completely learned and you have learned these prepositions well and you can use them correctly when you speak or write. Okay. Correct the mistakes. This is another exercise, exercise B. These sentences are all wrong. They're ungrammatical because a wrong preposition is used. He's on the class. The book is in the table. Can you do this exercise? This should take you maybe a minute because you've learned so much. Now you know how to use these prepositions correctly. So pause the video. I am sure you will breeze through this exercise. You'll finish this in a matter of seconds. All right. So 1 is in, 2 is on, 3 is in, 4 is on, 5 is at. You must have done it really well. This exercise, I'm sure you aced it. You got all of the answers correct. All right, let's take a quiz before we end this lesson. All right, choose the correct answer. There are 3 options for you for each question. He is blank the bus. Is it A, is it B, or is it C? Okay, complete the exercise and we will finish this lesson soon. Here are the answers for your consideration and comparison. All right, so far so good. We are almost done. Let's just look at some key takeaways. Go over some key takeaways. When we describe a place, which is in an enclosed area, we say in, on, or at, where. These prepositions tell the reader or listeners, when you speak to somebody, when you use these prepositions, they know that you are describing a place. You're answering the question, where. Time, at, on, in. These are used for a time frame, like when. When did you do this, right? At, on, in. Okay? Some prepositions like to, from, into, out of is used for movement, direction, and origin. You may want to go back and look at the examples that we have gone over together. Okay? There are other prepositions with, by, of, for instrument, means, possession, and purpose. Now, remember that this is a very short lesson and there are a lot of prepositions covered, but there are others too. And you will need to practice, read more, speak more, listen to native English speakers carefully to master all of these prepositions. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Work hard, write your questions in comments, and let me give you some tips before I end this lesson. How do we use prepositions correctly, Professor Warsi, you ask? I make mistakes when I use these prepositions. Always think. Remember, we learned a place, time, a period, a duration. You need to ask yourself, on the course or in the course and the preposition, what is the relationship between the noun and the rest of the sentence? Right? What's the relation between the preposition that come before a noun and the meaning of the entire sentence? Okay? Is it inside? Is it on top? Is the noun inside? The book is on the table. Where is the book? Is on the table at a point, through, between, or by means of. Okay, now that logic will help you make the correct choice every time you use a preposition. I'm proud of you for taking this lesson with me. Work hard and let me know if you have any questions. Okay? Bye-bye.